Dallas, just north, and they are reporting some debris, saying the National Weather Service is that the circulation has weeks 30 minutes started up by Love Field. So it's been on the ground for a while, unfortunately, right in the heart of Dallas County. And they are continuing the tornado warning. We do have thunderstorm warnings out for we are continuing thunderstorm warnings out, I should say, for Collin, Dallas County for these thunderstorms that are up to the north. I'll zoom out and just show you that just real quick. And you can see that is all because of the heavy rain and the hail that's over by Saxe. The hail path from that storm, this is the same storm that has been producing the tornado. Up to the north is the hail core. And you can see it's been over from Grapevine, Farmers Branch, Carlton, Richardson. It is now headed towards Saxe, Rockwall, and Fate. This has been large hail that's now headed into Garland, but the story continues to be the circulation with this, the tornado that has been reported with this. You can see Mike again is getting himself into really close proximity to it as it's passed over North Jupiter Road, now over North Shiloh Road in Dallas County, and headed basically down Beltline and off towards the north-northeast. Beltline goes directly east. The tornado is moving north-northeast, headed up towards North Garland Avenue and across the Interstate 635 as it heads towards Saxe and Pleasant Valley. Let's check in with Mike Pendergrass if we have him on the phone and see what Mike is reporting. Mike, do we have you?
Yes, yeah. I'm here. I'm north on Jupiter right now. And I'm in the rain core now. I'm not seeing the circulation like I was earlier because I'm in the rain core, so I'm kind of slowing down, letting it get ahead of me.
Yeah, they're just, I want to say the circulation is weaker, but that has fooled us before. The rotation is headed into the city of Garland as it crosses the interstate here in the next 5 minutes or so. Mike, don't get too much closer. You are very close to the circulation. You're hidden both by darkness and heavy rain. We see a lot of light flashes here where this possible tornado is. The tornado warning will continue now for Collin County. Of course, it goes on till 10 p.m. A confirmed tornado located near Richardson, moving northeast now at 25 miles an hour. This is the one we've been talking about. I'll zoom it out a little bit closer. Let's take Mike off of the map just for a moment so we can put a track on it. It is going to head into the north part of Garland. It's going to head into Saxe as we put a path on it, moving off towards the east-northeast at about 25 miles an hour. Well, we'll continue to track this. It has been producing damage as it has moved across Dallas County. There is some places, Saxe 945 and Wiley 955. I know you guys, especially in Wiley, have done your tornado drills over the years, and I need you to do it now. Get those kids into safe places. Get the whole family and the pets into a safe place. You have an approaching tornado getting ready to cross 635 into Saxe. It's in parts of Garland, just passed through Richardson. It is North Garland now where it's at, and moving into Saxe, into Wiley, and south of Murphy. It is passing to the south of Plano on the other side of the county line in Dallas County, and it will pass to the north of Rowlett as it continues to move almost east-northeast at about 25 miles an hour. We'll put our spotters back on as we can see both Mike and Jason have been following the storm very well. We have continued to see them in the right position. It seems at always the right time, giving us valuable information on how this storm is doing and how fast it is moving and what they are actually seeing on the ground. As we have been tracking this, we have been seeing damage in the path of the tornado, especially as we were crossing the Interstate 635 and thereby 75 as well. There was damage. We could see that reported by our storm chasers as they were moving back behind the storm. Now, we have the rotation between. So we have it. We have Jason in Richardson and Mike up between North Jupiter and North Shiloh. Let's check in with Jason. Jason, this is now passing to the north of you. What are you seeing?
All right, Jeff, this path that I passed south of West Avenue D on 78, there is tornado damage all along the road. The tornado during a lightning flash, it's off to my north just maybe a mile, possibly 2 miles. But there is damage here in town. Again, I can't see the extent of it. I'm trying to work around traffic the best I can to get back north to where it is.
Okay, yeah. So you're reporting damage in Garland. Remember, we were seeing a couple of circulations, and I'm wondering if that was the one off the south that moved over Garland. And this one that we are tracking that Mike is on up to the north is more the one that was over Love Field. It's hard to tell. They've kind of merged and split and reformed a couple of times as they've been pulsating a little bit. We are watching them over by Saxe, approaching Saxe, I should say, this one that Mike is on, and the circulation continues to broaden just a little bit, a sign that it might be weakening. Let's hope so. It has been very, very impressive. Now, we are under a tornado watch, so we have to keep an eye out for other stuff that might be happening. We have a tornado warning out now for Ellis County. This circulation, this is a tornado indicated circulation that is over by Pecan Hill and Lancaster. This is closing in on 45 in Wilmer and Palmer, where this circulation is. This is a tornado warning that is out till 10 p.m. that is in parts of Ellis County. I'll zoom out a little bit more, and you can see in reference, this is not the tornado that has been going on in Dallas County. This is another incident. This is a tornado south where the air has been a little bit warmer, and there has not been any thunderstorm activity down to the south of it. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that because we've had no thunderstorms basically in this area at all, it's getting some very good warm moist air feeding into the storm. No rain-cooled air at all. So this could rapidly develop into another tornado. In fact, as we have now seen just in the last volume scan, it is circulation getting a little bit better. So both Mike and Jason, please keep me informed of what you were seeing. We might have to go back into Dallas County, but it seems to be cycling right now over by Rowlett as well. We're seeing some rotation. I'll zoom out and you can see what I mean, that we are tracking a couple of things at the same time. So here is that rotation that is now between Saxe and Rowlett, and let's see if it kind of forms up. This is by 635. This is just north of Dalrock. This is over by Miles Road and Taldier Road, and headed towards Liberty Grove. The latest indication by radar is that circulation tightening. I need everybody in Liberty Grove to take exercise precautions and get to your safe place. I think the one over Garland has weakened. It still doesn't mean there isn't a tornado. It just seems like the circulation is weakened. That's the one Mike has been on here just in the last 10 minutes. He saw some flashes earlier. And now we have this situation both in Rowlett, and we have this situation down in Ellis County that I've circled over by Lancaster. Now, that circulation is still having a little trouble kind of coming together clearly. We'll keep an eye on it. We do have a tornado warning out on this until 10 o'clock. This is just north of Pecan Hill and south of Lancaster near Wilmer. It is passing 45, as it moves off to the east. Let's put a track on that because I'm assuming that its track is going to be very similar to the one that we have seen up towards its cousin to the north across Dallas County. That is east-northeast at somewhere around 30 miles an hour. And you can see that as it crosses over by 45, Ferris and Patrick 952. So you've got about 10 minutes to get to your safe place. The same story, Walnut Springs, that'll pass just along the northern part of Walnut Springs. That's going to happen just around 10 o'clock, and Combine about 10:06. So we have this tornado down here in Ellis County, over by the Dallas County line. We have this one that our storm spotters, both Mike Pendergrass and Jason McLaughlin, have been giving reports over the last 45 minutes on. These confirmed tornado that moved ever since Love Field and moved over by Love Field and up towards the east-northeast, now headed up towards Saxe. There's been damage reported in Garland as Jason was just in that area. And now the circulation moving between Saxe and Rowlett is of a concern to see maybe if this thing reforms in this kind of general area. We'll keep an eye on that. Now, as we look again to the south, trying to track both of these possible tornadoes, or certainly these tornado warnings that are out. This is the circulation as it looks now. This is over, again, just at the Dallas and Ellis County line, approaching 45. There's a couple of ways we can look at it. There is storm relative velocity. We subtract the forward motion, and we see the signature a little bit better. You can see it's closing in on 35. There is a tornado warning out on this. This is over by FM Road 664 heading into Ferris at this moment. This thunderstorm certainly capable of producing a tornado. It's kind of over Ferris now. It's moving east at 30 miles an hour, and it is heading over across just along the county line, getting ready to go into Kaufman County. So we do have reports in the wake of the tornado as it moved over parts of Dallas County. We are getting our reporters in position to see the damage. We do have reports of damage. Caroline, one of our reporters is there. Caroline, what are you seeing?
Well, we just pulled into the shopping center, Preston and Royal Lane. And essentially, this used to be a Specs here, and the Specs, you can see the windows are blown out. There's massive air conditioning units right over here. And all through this shopping center, you can see down trees. There's a huge power line that's down across the intersection as well. I want to kind of move a little bit closer to this car. We actually talked to the girls who were inside the car when this happened. They said, the driver said she was just pressing the brake the entire time and that the car was moving. There was so much loud noises going on. Since we've been out here, we've heard a few pops with these power lines. So it's definitely a dangerous situation. There are a few drivers out here. Some of them have different smashed cars and debris that they're worried about. At this point, it's hard to tell where the roads are blocked off and where people can get in and out. And so that is definitely a major concern for people at the moment. But you can see just how close this line is to the street and how far down that pole is. Across the way, it looks like there's a lot more damage in that parking lot as well, a lot more damage to cars. We're seeing these massive trees just down, some of them right on top of cars. We saw one guy pull up and his whole front window was just entirely smashed. The rest of the windows in the back of his car were smashed as well. As you can see, we've got police sirens going on. We're trying to get the best look at this damage as we possibly can. Like I said, we probably just pulled up here maybe 20 minutes ago, and there's definitely a lot of damage to take in. Even just driving here, there were down trees on the way. So we're going to try to move and get a little bit of a better look. We're hearing reports that a fire station had damage, so we're going to head that way and see what we can find. But of course, we'll keep updating you throughout the evening. Back to you.
Pictures, vivid pictures of the damage in Dallas there. Caroline, thank you for that. As our first really good field report in the wake of this. I've circled it. This was at 9 o'clock, and as it moved over by, you could see right by Walnut Hill, then over by Royal Lane, the Preston area, as it crossed over into the interstate and just continued to move its way off to the east, now headed in towards where Jason is now. So there's the latest radar, and I'll zoom out. And growing less and less concerned of the storm that has been over Saxe, but that might be only for the moment as it continues to try to kind of regather. We have been watching with great interest of the one that's over by the Dallas and Ellis County line. This one has been also trying to develop to a tornado. There's a tornado warning out. It's been over by Ferris and Lancaster, moving east at about 30 miles an hour. Meanwhile, that circulation on the northern storm moving into Lake Ray Hubbard. This circulation, just as it's crossing 45 in Ferris, is looking a little bit more organized. Possible tornado warning out until 10 o'clock because of this signature right here. This storm moving off to the east at about 30 miles an hour. Since it's of the highest concern at this moment, this particular moment, just as it crosses 45, we'll put a track on it that is moving off to the east at 35 miles an hour. Ferris, I hope everybody in Ferris is in their safe spot. You're hearing the winds, possible tornado moving over you at this time. Patrick, you have a few moments to react. If you live on the east side of 45, south of Wilmer, between Ferris and Wilmer, you need to be in a safe spot, because as it approaches towards Patrick and Combine, Crandall and Warsaw, you've got some time. It'll be about 15 after 10 or so when this circulation is arrived. If it still holds together, it might even be stronger. It is hard to tell at this time. We'll put it in motion just for the last 15 minutes, and we can see that rotation kind of coming together and the tornado warning that has been issued now for that circulation. So that is just perhaps another tornado that we are that's being affected here in the Metroplex. This one on 45, just the Dallas County line in Ellis County, south of Wilmer, headed over towards Cross 45, towards the Seagoville and Crandall area. Now, our storm spotters continue to follow this one that's now over Ray Hubbard Lake. This rotation continues to show up on radar. We are currently haven't seen any direct reports of flashes, power flashes from this. There has been some reports that it could be a tornado, or at least circulation, a funnel cloud here. This is continuing with the tornado warning that now will spill into just the parts of Collin County, the southern parts of Collin County there by the lake, and there between Rockwell and Rockwell County, which is also just not quite in the warning, but the circulation come very close. They do have a thunderstorm warning out for this storm, by the way. It is producing 1-inch hail, very heavy rain, and some very strong winds. We're getting a lot of reports in the same places, that same neighborhood where Caroline was. You were seeing some of the damage from the tornado. We're getting reports of damage in the Marsh, Walnut Hill areas as well from what you were seeing, that damage Caroline was doing at the, showing us there at Specs. That store heavily damaged from the tornado there. So let me put this in motion. Let me zoom out a little bit more, because there is still a cold front coming in. This is the cold front that's going to sweep across all of North Texas. Now, the air is mixed up a little bit because of the storms right around the Metroplex. We'll see how it affects the strength of these thunderstorms. But this line of thunderstorms is still forecast to kind of come together later tonight as it swings through. And doing so could produce another round of severe weather, if not just strong winds and heavy rain as it moves over some of these same areas that have received damage. And what you're seeing, again, we're pointing out this damage from the tornado around Preston and Royal Road. We do have a reporter on the scene showing us these pictures. We have reports also from other sources, storm spotters, of damage in this same area, all up and down parts of Royal. In fact, the tornado kind of followed along Royal as it slowly crossed it, moving towards the northeast. As you know, Royal moves to the east. We have first responders on the scene there. You can see them. This might be near that the firefighters, might be near the fire station Caroline was headed towards. That was reported to have some damage. We'll wait to get another report from her as she gathers information. Let's, yeah, we have, it looks like they're in damage assessment there, as they are going through in the wake of the tornado to check in on people to see if they have anyone trapped under this debris, anyone injured by any of the flying debris under stuff. These tornadoes coming at night. We were trying to give you as much warning as we could as they came in, but a lot of people, of course, out and about aren't watching television, aren't listening to radio, aren't getting those reports. Hopefully everybody by now knows to put our DFW weather app on your phone, because it will let you know. Your phone will buzz you if a tornado warning or a thunderstorm warning is issued where your phone is at. So literally you could be anywhere in the country, but if you're sitting in Dallas County with your phone out in the open, it will let you know that warnings have been issued. because you don't want to be standing out where this happened. This was a tornado that moved across parts of Dallas County, right along Royal and Preston, where we're looking right now. They're going to expire the tornado warning for call in Dallas County. That is excellent news. We are still dealing with some tornado warnings and thunderstorm warnings as well. The tornado warning that we're most concerned about is actually in South Dallas County and parts of Ellis County, moving into Kaufman County. This one has been producing some circulation. Let's go. We are continuing to watch that rescue. The first responders do a search and rescue on the area hit by the tornado. This is the area near Preston and Royal Lane. This is in North Dallas, of course, north of downtown where the tornado. There's been no damage reported at Love Field. That is where we picked up the circulation. That is where the tornado warning started. Right when that circulation was over Love Field, fortunately no reports of damage at Love Field. But as soon as it got just to the east of the airport, obviously a powerful tornado, a strong tornado, at least it got onto the ground and started to do damage and cut a damage path across North Dallas County. And what we're looking at is over by Preston and Raleigh. Let's go, let me show you here. We're going to box this back and so you can look at the radar. This is the tornado warning I was telling you about. It's in effect for just a few more minutes. We'll see if they extend it, but this is the area of concern. Now, when I zoom in on over by Crandall, Seagoville, you can see that there's some heavy returns, some strong returns, and one of the things we can do is look at the hail path from the same storm, and you can see how the hail went from Mansfield over by Cedar Hill, over by Lancaster, now headed into parts of Kaufman County. And as we change over to reflectivity, that's where the hail is. It's going to be up to the north of the circulation. This is the circulation right here where the tornado warning is out. This is where the hail threat and the heavy rain threat. So obviously the higher concern is this down here, down by Walnut Springs, by 10 Mile Road and Indian Road. So this is Parkinson Road in the town of Patrick. This is just to the south of this. As we change over to velocity, the rotation can be kind of seen generally here. This has been one of those tornado warnings that hasn't produced much in reports, but a reports continue to see their funnel clouds or wedges or lowering, and they continue with the tornado warning because of it. This is obviously because of this rotation right here where this warning is out as it's headed towards the Kaufman County line. So heads up in Seagoville and Crandall, as the county seat of Kaufman also could be under the gun here up towards Oak Ridge as this heads off to the east-northeast. So let's put a track on it and give you as much heads up. This is right now at least the clearest tornado threat that we have. There was a tornado that moved over Dallas County, now over by Ray Hubbard north of Rockwall, has lost some of its circulation, but we're keeping a close watch to it. This track right here, let's put it off towards the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. To give you some arrival times, here we are sitting just before the hour 10 o'clock, and we're getting ready to go into our 10 o'clock show with a full report of what's going on. Scott Padgett here on the scene as well. He'll be joining us. But Gastonia 1017, Lone Star 1024, Post Oak, Bend City at 1028. We have all these areas of concern with this. And joining me now here is Scott Padgett. And Scott, I know you've been following this as you've come in towards the station. You know about the tornado, that it was crossed over here from about Love Field. I'll draw it out a little bit from Love Field, University Park area, across both Dallas North Turnpike and 75, but this is the one right now that seems to have the clearest signature.
Absolutely, Jeff, and as you were tracking that, we mentioned that in that area now that is the tornado warning that has the better signature. That's where we haven't seen a lot of activity through the day today. Atmosphere very primed for today, and we've seen these storms really develop quickly, and you can definitely see that signature right now showing up there on the radar of kind of that appendage that's kind of hanging down just a little bit. If you're just now joining us, You're able to see on the left-hand side of the screen, that box there, some of the damage from the confirmed tornado that did touch down in Dallas County, moved its way through the Garland areas where we had a second possible rotation there. That activity that's off to the north has weakened just a bit more. But now we were looking at this tornado warning that right now is still through parts of Ellis County and the south and southeast sides there of Dallas County as well. It's pushing its way off to the east, and that's where we're a little bit more concerned for tonight, is looking at this tornado warning that remains in effect. Now, we don't have any confirmation of that on the ground right now, but we definitely are seeing that indicated by our radar. A lot of lightning with these storms as well. But if you're east and southeast of the Wilmer area, that's where our biggest concern is, as well as this is continuing to push its way off to the east relatively quickly. So when you see us switch over on this velocity mode there, you're able to see where we have some of those reds and the greens close together, even that bright green. That indicates very strong winds. So we're going to go ahead and track this as that one, Jeff, is continuing to push its way off towards the east, and just let you know exactly where it's at and where it is going right now. It is moving to the east-northeast at around 30 miles per hour. So it's going to be in the Crandall area right around 10-12, and we're about a minute or so away from the start of CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock. But Gastonia right around 10:18, Lone Star at 10:25, Kaufman right around 10:29. So we're continuing to track this area that's indicated right now on the radar as it is tracking its way pretty quickly around 30 miles per hour. So again, here's Combine right now. There's Lanier Road. There's Davis Road as well. So right in this area, please seek shelter right now. If you hear some of those roads, you heard your town, please go ahead and get to that lowest level of your house, the most interior room possible, because we have a history of some of these storms today producing tornado that has caused some damage in parts of the Metroplex. So if you live in the Crandall area, Talty as well, Kaufman, Post Oak, Bend City, you can see that though you're not within the tornado warning right now. However, we're able to look at this. We're able to look at this signature on the velocity and pinpoint where we might have a broader rotation that's tightening up just a little bit and the potential of a tornado touching down. So that's why we're letting you know right now, and that's why we have this tornado warning that remains in effect. Right now, we're continuing to look at it making its way off towards the east into the northeast. Jeff, this tornado warning until 10 o'clock or 10:30?
10 o'clock right now.
Right, 10 o'clock.
They might lengthen it.
You're right,
Scott.
So we'll see if they extend that. And you are watching CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock. The continuing coverage here of severe weather in North Texas and our tornado warnings. A confirmed tornado touching down in Dallas County. As you can see, damage there on the left-hand side of your screen. Trees down on cars. We had our reporter earlier mentioning that there were cars with windows blown out on the front and the back side. As of right now, we don't have reports of any injuries. Jeff, you have something?
They're not going to continue the tornado warning, Scott.
Okay, so right now the tornado warning that Jeff and I were looking at least right now, the National Weather Service is not continuing that tornado warning. So this is the one area that we were looking at, but we still have severe thunderstorm warnings that remain in effect. And that does include, as you can see, the Kaufman County area. This remains in effect until 10:30. So this is a history of producing a tornado warning. No damage from this being reported. The south storm, the one that was further to the north, has produced a tornado that we will continue to cover here on CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock. And looking at it right now, this severe thunderstorm warning that did have that history of producing a tornado is now until 10:45. The reason we're continuing to look at this, a lot of lightning with this, maybe some hail. We haven't seen a lot of hail reports, gusty winds, but also the potential of the tornadoes are there. It was a low threat today, but even with a low threat, we definitely had a tornado that caused some damage in Dallas County. We're continuing to bring you that tonight on CBS 11 News at 10 o'clock. So as of right now, we are the tornado warning for Dallas and Ellis County has been expired as well, but widening out the view, we now have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's a little bit of improvement for us. But where we just indicated right there, we do have this line that's coming together. This is the stronger cold front that's going to sweep its way in. And with that, we also have the threat of some severe weather. There are no severe thunderstorm warnings with this right now, but this is another area that we're going to keep our eyes on going through the evening hours. And even behind that, where our wind threat is going to go up into the early morning hours. So if you're in a safe area, want to go ahead and secure some of those items in your backyard right now that might get blown around, go ahead and do that before this frontal boundary arrives. And today, Here we are in October, feeling very hot. Tomorrow, temperatures are going to be much cooler because of this cold front moving through. So if you're just now joining us, we now only have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we are looking at right now, continuing to push their way southeast sides of Collin County and Hunt County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45. The tornado warning that was for Dallas and Ellis County, that has expired. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Kaufman County, also stretching for the southeast sides of Dallas County, a little bit of Ellis County until 10:30. Biggest threat with those, again, the tornado threat is low, but the threat, again, also maybe some quarter to maybe golf ball size hail, winds gusting up to 50 to 60 miles per hour. Also, as you can see, we switched on over the hail size. So when you look at this and you see that brighter purple color,